Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Solana price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. Starting on the daily chart, we are looking at an ABC toward the upside, and your wave C, of course, should be an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are currently in the wave 5, of course, for higher prices. Now your wave 5 can end in two ways. The first one, it can be an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where your wave 3 is very extended wave 3, not overlapping with the wave 1. The other option is an ending a diagonal in a contracting a diagonal, of course, where your wave 3 can overlap, or your wave 4 can overlap with your wave 1 here. And of course, finishing with a little bit lower prices as an ending diagonal for 5 waves. Now, the difference as well is that in an impulse you would like to see for a wave a 1, of course, as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. You would like to see an impulse for just a wave 1, and then a 2, and then 3, 4, 5 continuation toward the upside. As you can see, this did not happen. We see here almost a zigzag toward the upside for a wave 1, and that because your wave 4 has interfered with your wave 1 as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, of course, then you cannot really have a wave 5 as an impulse. You have to consider this as a zigzag for a wave 1. And then, of course, this is a wave 2 as a zigzag. Probably you are looking now for a zigzag toward the upside for a wave 3. Now, the only thing is here that we got a very, very weird price action for Solana, which make it very, very challenging here and complicated, I would say, based on Elliott wave. Because as you can see, we lately got a kind of triangle, and we had this in the previous count as a triangle. After having here on the 1 hour chart, of course, a move to the downside, we had a kind of a triangle, and yeah, we saw this move towards the downside, and we start to count A, B, C, D, and E. Now, after your wave E in a correction, you would like, of course, to continue the trend toward the downside. And especially if your wave E is toward the upside, the continuation should be toward the downside. But suddenly today, we saw, of course, higher prices directly invalidating as is a triangle, and yeah, telling us that this was not really a triangle, knowing that it looks like a triangle. However, this has to be read in a different way right now. And this way can be a little bit complicated, so I'm gonna try my best to make it clearer. In your wave 2 of a diagonal, you can be corrective. It can be in any A, B, and a C. It's not necessarily to be even a zigzag, because as you know, in a zigzag, you should be an impulse, correction, and then impulse. In this case scenario, we don't see any kind of impulse because of the overlap between the waves here. So we are looking at an A, B, and a C, 3 waves toward the downside, where you have already a zigzag here, of course, an impulse, correction, and then an impulse. That's fine. So we got a 3 corrective waves, and that means, of course, you would like to have another 3 corrective waves, as you can see here, as another zigzag in this area. And then your wave C, which is of course A, B, and a C, it should be ended as well in an impulse 5 waves toward the downside. Now, when we take a look here, we can catch, of course, a contracting diagonal start or leading diagonal for an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, your wave 5 did not take the high of your wave 3, which is, of course, can be in a contracting diagonal only for your wave 5 to not take the high, but the wave 3 should always take the high or take the low of the wave 1 in this case. And of course, after finishing this contracting diagonal, you have 3 waves up, 3 waves down for your wave B, A, B, and a C, of course, as an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning this is an expanding flat, of course, as you can see. Expanding flat, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and 5 waves up again for a wave C. By all means, you have finished a 1, 2 here. That's perfect. After this 1, 2, you got 1, 2 here, and then probably even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 3 probably, or finishing already a wave 3 here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and finishing a wave 3 in the yellow scenario. Now, in that case, as we said, this triangle is really hard to say that this was a triangle after looking at higher prices because this triangle direction was supposed to give us a lower prices. Now it gave us a little bit lower and then start to move toward the upside directly, which is not really likely because when you want to move lower, we mean lower by taking the low, of course. And this was not really nice to see because it has worked contrarily to a triangle direction. And then it tells us that you have to consider this something else. Now, of course, in bullish scenario, you have to consider that you are, of course, in a wave 3. However, as we said, your wave 3 has to be a zigzag as an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this case, we see 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's a very, very rare scenario that we get at 4 1-2s, and each 1-2 is having lower high, and that is not good. So this is higher than this, and this is higher than this. So by all means, the momentum is reducing, and this is not an impulse. In an impulse, you would like to see the momentum increasing towards the upside, right? As 1-2s. If you have several 1-2s, you would like to see something like this as 1-2s, not, of course, moving toward the downside. Therefore, that's why we were considering it as triangle, right? Consolidation of the price action, and then, of course, moving toward the downside because the trend is already toward the downside. After a correction, you would like to see continuation. And this did not happen again. Therefore, I still think that this is still corrective, but in a different reading as a triangle. I think this is an A, and then a B here, A, B, C for your wave B, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 probably finishing then a correction as A, B, C. Very simple. So very simple as A, B, and a C toward the upside. And with these 3 corrective waves, you're gonna finish a wave 4, but you would not like to come to this price area at 215, where you're gonna invalidate again this impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you touch, of course, this price, then of course invalidation of this impulse, and then you cannot really count an impulse toward the downside anymore. Only if your price action stays in this area and then move toward the downside for a wave 4, that would be very, very likely. So this is now the most highest possibility, guys, because as bullish, I know we are looking at a very high price, but don't forget this can be your wave C as an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after having A, B, and then C as 5 waves toward the upside. Possibly even it can be finished, maybe even 4-5 finished, but you would not like to take the 215 in case you want to continue this in a healthy way, of course, because having an impulse, as we said, for a zigzag, right, towards the upside for a wave 3. Let me go out a little bit to show you what I mean. So this is your wave 3 in a contracting diagonal, right? You would like to have a zigzag here. Your zigzag has to be impulsive, and in case your impulse would like to have several 1-2s or a leading diagonal, your 1 and 3 should getting higher and not sideways, and even like not taking the high of each others. So that is not a pattern of an impulse toward the upside. It is not giving us security or secure a scenario that we are moving toward the upside. It shows us that this, of course, a part of a correction, and this move here toward the upside might finish only this correction as A, B, and a C, and then moving for a wave 5 to finish finally a nice correction, which is of course A, B, C, and then A, B, C here for a correction, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a final impulse toward the downside. And by all means, you have finished your wave 2 here exactly in 3 corrective waves. Very, very simple. And then you will consider that, of course, yes, we have touched or reached the perfect fib levels for a wave 2. So yeah, as you can see, we did not touch even 0.618 here. We did not really touch it. So preferably even to touch it and then moving towards the upside for a wave 3, of course, in a contracting diagonal. So by all means, this wave 2 might still be even finishing in that way. Yeah, so probably. But we're gonna see at that time what's gonna happen. I'm gonna yeah, leave Solana right now to give it some time to reanalyze later on, of course, because the price action is very, very choppy and very complicated. It is one of the most complicated coins that I analyzed today, knowing that yeah, most of them shows really nice patterns. But yeah, this is a reading at the end. The code was hacked, I would say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.